I gotta say, it's fantastic. But seriously, with Marvel's recent streak of mid to decent projects, I didn't expect this movie to be one of the ones that broke the cycle, but from the moment it started, it really did feel like a breath of fresh air. And for me, there's one emotional moment in particular that makes the movie go from being okay or good even to great. Welcome back to another Mediaverse movie review. And if you made it to this point, then you already know what movie we're reviewing. We're reviewing Fantastic Four 2025. Sorry for the long wait, by the way. I kind of burnt myself out and I've had a bunch of stuff going on with my new job and life, but I'm back and I'm gonna try to keep to the schedule of posting once every Saturday or every Monday. And a quick heads up, of course there are spoilers ahead, so if you haven't seen it yet, proceed with caution. But if you haven't seen it and you're wondering, was it really that good? Just stick around and we can talk about it. Okay, so we all know Marvel's been kind of playing catch up lately, trying to recapture the spark, but Fantastic Four finally does something bold. It's not your typical origin story, and thank God for that. This one leans into legacy, sacrifice, and even in the face of cosmic threats, being a parent, a sibling, or a friend is the real battle worth fighting for. First, I'm gonna get into my likes, and I had a lot of unexpected likes with this film, because at first I was very unsure with the cast, especially Pedro Pascal and Joseph Quinn as Reed and Johnny. Nothing against the actors, I just didn't feel like they were the obvious choices to play the role, but Marvel cooked with the casting, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. Specifically, Pedro Pascal as Reed is a perfect balance of intellect and awkward. I could actually believe he is the smartest man on the planet, and that's one of the things that were missing from my childhood Fantastic Four movies. And Joseph Quinn's Johnny Storm absolutely smashed it. For me, he was the absolute standout in the entire movie. I loved The Thing. He was the character I was expecting to like the most. I enjoyed him a lot, but Johnny really just stole the show. I feel like this is the first time we're getting a very accurate representation of Johnny, whether that's the playboy side or the actual intellectual side. It's just all around, he killed it. And without getting to every single team member's powers, I want to talk about the family aspect, because the way they casted these characters and wrote them to bounce off each other and really just fit and feel like an actual family, it's perfect. Reed is focused, he's pretty distant at times, but throughout the movie you feel him slowly warming into the emotional core of the team, especially around Sue and Franklin. Johnny, he's clever, charming, a little reckless, and full of that big little brother energy, and his dynamic with Ben is hilarious, and the way he just rage baits him is great. Sue Storm is the glue, the foundation, and the beating heart of the entire team. The story knows this and leans into it, especially in the way she protects Franklin. With the team dynamic, and my favorite being Johnny, I want to point out Ben Grimm as well, because I just love the character. He's chill, he's loyal, he's emotionally grounded, and beneath all that rock skin, he's probably the most human member of the team. His pain feels real, the quiet grief about his life that has changed and he can never get back, but instead of dragging the team down, he lifts the team up. And honestly, let me reframe what I said earlier, these two characters are definitely the standout, and for me personally, those are my two favorite and the most outstanding characters in this movie. Also, a quick shout out to Herbie. He literally got between Franklin and Galactus, and he tried his best, but he's just a little robot. But it was fun, and he added a really techie touch to the movie. And one of the most interesting things about this movie is Fantastic Four doesn't just work because of the spectacle with Galactus and Silver Surfer. That's not why it works. It works because of the emotional heart of this movie. It remembers what this team is all about, not just science and powers or villain of the week, but stuff about family, the bonds between them, the way they clash, protect, and grow together. This film is faithful to the tone, the source material, and especially the characters, but it's not just playing it safe, it's emotionally sincere in a way that's rare in modern superhero movies, and it all leads to the moment that actually almost brought a tear to my eye. And I know this scene might not have hit the same for everyone, but me in particular, the scene where she shows Franklin to the public and reveals him, telling him his name and saying she grew up in a broken family, and that just specifically hit me hard because I've been through a lot of stuff when I was younger, so saying she's not gonna let it happen again, it just resonated with me. You know, it just messed me up. But it might not be the same for everyone, but I felt that was what I would call the golden moment of the movie, and just the most emotionally impactful for me personally. And with all that said, whether it's jokes or actual sad moments, Fantastic Four isn't just good for a Marvel movie. It's an actual great film, period, point blank. It's got a unique theme, amazing cast, emotional depth, and a respect for its characters that feels long overdue, even with some small flaws. I walked away hopeful, not just for this team, but for the MCU going forward. I'm very curious to see where they take Doom next after that mid-credit scene, which I wasn't very happy with, but it still intrigues me and makes me curious to see where they're gonna go next. Plus, he now, I'm guessing, has Franklin, and that's gonna be all mixed up in it, so things are about to get crazy leading into Battle World when Doomsday and his Secret Wars down the line. It's gonna be awesome. So thank you for joining me in today's movie review. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and feel free to check out my previous one. I put a lot of work in these reviews and I try to improve on each one, so if you can, check it out. It tells the algorithm my videos are worth watching. And as always, stay curious and let's keep the conversation going.